March 28, 1982. The Falklands War raged on. British and Argentine forces fought in the air, ground, and sea. Supporting the infantry were 4 FV-107 Scimitar light reconnaissance vehicles, constantly racing from one enemy position to another at over 80 kilometers per hour, while decimating entrenched positions with their powerful 30mm cannon. Suddenly, one of the Scimitars found itself across an open field when 18-year-old Reg Hastings spotted an Argentine Mirage fighter swooping in. In a moment charged with adrenaline, the Briton took his chances and unleashed a barrage of high-explosive shells from the Rarden cannon. As he tracked the jet through his sights, Hastings recalled, quote, "I half panicked." His 4th round struck below the cockpit, sending the Mirage to a fiery demise and demonstrating the lethal efficiency of Briton's nimble Scimitar. Weighing in at 7.8 tons and measuring 5 meters in length, the Scimitar stands as a robust presence on the battlefield. Its hull nearly matches its length at 4.8 meters, with both width and height measuring 2.24 meters each. Inside this compact yet sturdy armor, a crew of 3, commander, gunner, and driver, collaboratively harness the vehicle's capabilities. At the heart of the Scimitar's arsenal is the 30mm L-21 Rarden cannon, a testament to British engineering from the early 1970s. This distinctive weapon emerged from a partnership between the Royal Armament Research and Development Establishment, or RARDE, and the Royal Small Arms Factory in Enfield, crafted to provide the Scimitar with a significant advantage in firepower. This innovative design marked a considerable advancement over the older 20mm cannons, which struggled against modern armored adversaries. Distinct from many automatic cannons, the L-21 Rarden operates without the need for an external power source to reload. It utilizes a manually operated closed-bolt mechanism. While this choice does reduce the firing rate to about 90 rounds per minute, it significantly boosts accuracy. This precision is vital for striking long-range targets effectively, ensuring that each shot counts where distance challenges the margin for error. The Rarden cannon can fire a diverse array of ammunition types, such as armor-piercing, high-explosive incendiary, and training rounds. This versatility makes it effective against light armored vehicles at distances up to 1,500 meters, while its armor-piercing rounds can breach up to 50 millimeters of armor at a range of 1,000 meters. Adjacent to the main cannon within the turret, the Scimitar is armed with a 7.62mm L-37A2 machine gun tailored for close-range defense against infantry and lighter targets. This setup provides the vehicle with a balanced mix of offensive and defensive capabilities. For added protection, the Scimitar is outfitted with 4 smoke grenade launchers, typically mounted on the turret. These can be deployed to obscure the vehicle from enemy sight and targeting, significantly enhancing its survivability in hostile environments. Together, these secondary systems underscore the Scimitar's operational flexibility, enabling it to effectively engage a variety of targets and fulfill its roles in reconnaissance and light fire support. The original FV-107 Scimitars were powered by the Jaguar J60, a 4.2-liter 6-cylinder petrol engine from the same lineage that graced certain Jaguar automobiles, merging automotive and military technology. This engine, producing a robust 190 horsepower, endowed the Scimitar with impressive mobility and responsiveness. On the road, it could reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, making it one of the swifter armored vehicles of its era. With the J60, the Scimitar boasted an operational range of about 450 kilometers on a full tank, although this varied with terrain and operational conditions. While the petrol engine offered significant power and quick acceleration, it did so at the cost of fuel efficiency, a notable drawback compared to the diesel engines that later became standard in military vehicles due to their economy and power. The use of a commercially available engine simplified maintenance and repairs, as parts were more accessible than those for bespoke military engines. Despite these advantages, the trend eventually shifted towards more efficient and powerful diesel engines to better meet the evolving demands of military operations, a shift exemplified by the upgraded Mark II variant of the Scimitar. In terms of protection, the light armored Scimitar featured armor that was 13mm thick at the front, with thinner armor 8mm thick on the sides and rear. On April 2, 1982, the Falklands War erupted after Argentine forces launched Operation Rosario and occupied the Falkland Islands, a small British overseas territory in the South Atlantic. The Falklands, a group of islands with a rich history and strategic significance, became the epicenter of a conflict that had been brewing for centuries. The political and territorial claims over these lands, dating back to the early 19th century, ignited a fierce sovereignty dispute between Argentina and the United Kingdom, encompassing not just the Falklands, but also the nearby South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands. The Argentine forces quickly overwhelmed the small garrison of British Royal Marines stationed on the islands, largely due to their superior numbers and the element of surprise. Soon, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher assembled a naval task force comprised of carriers, destroyers, submarines, and ground troops, including several FV-107 Scimitars, with one objective only: take back the Falklands at whatever cost. The Scimitars deployed were part of the B Squadron of the Army's Blues and Royals Cavalry Regiment. All of the vehicles landed in San Carlos on May 21, 1982. Two Scimitars, dubbed Troop 3 and Troop 4, were deployed to support the 2nd and 3rd paratroopers at Port Stanley. The third vehicle that came ashore was dubbed Scimitar 23 Charlie, and soon joined its sister vehicles to assist the British ground forces. Once on the islands, the four Scimitars were used primarily for reconnaissance tasks, providing British forces with critical mobility and situational awareness in the rugged and open terrain of the Falklands. Due to their lightweight and compact design, the Scimitars proved well-suited for rapid deployment against the enemy forces. The Scimitar's Rarden cannon swiftly tore Argentine fortifications, light vehicles, and other obstacles apart when engaging entrenched opposition. Scimitar 23's crew alleged they were treated as guinea pigs to determine the depth of the water for the Paras and the 2nd Battalion Scots Guards. Due to the use of the Scimitars, the British could claim victory over the enemy during the Battle of Mount Tumbledown, which raged from the 13th to the 14th of June, 1982. Scimitar 23 rose to the occasion after striking down an Argentine Mirage fighter bound to strike British warships. 18-year-old member Reg Hastings recalled, quote, "We had 6 rounds of 30mm high-explosive shells loaded. Then suddenly, I could see this Argentine Mirage coming in very fast beyond the seagulls. I half panicked and started firing an automatic, while at the same time traversing the gun from left to right toward the target. The plane was turning, revealing its underside. Suddenly, a flash from the 4th HE round hit just below the cockpit. It continued to roll over and turned upside down, then crashed into the ground and exploded. It had crashed into a large field where some horses were grazing, but luckily none were harmed." 23 Charlie's crew also fought with tenacity during the Battle of Wireless Ridge, where Reg took down an enemy 110mm recoilless rifle by firing several HE rounds before the Argentines sighted the tank crew. In addition to striking down an enemy aircraft, 23 Charlie also tested the gun's maximum range while it took place in operations around Port Stanley. The crew spotted strange activity around a hospital building adorned with a red cross. Nonetheless, upon close inspection, Reg saw Argentine soldiers carrying green boxes away from the building. With resolution, Reg fired a single HE round from over 4,000 meters away. Reg and the crew were left in awe after they witnessed an explosion that engulfed the building in flames. It turned out the so-called hospital was an ammunition dump. Nearly 10 years later, the British Scimitars from the Queen's Dragoon Guards were deployed to the Middle East, joining the coalition forces led by the United States. During an encounter, a group of Scimitar tanks ran into an Iraqi armored unit led by a T-62. With agile tactics, the British crews quickly surrounded the enemy, managing to destroy it with several sabot rounds that penetrated its frontal armor. The battle continued to intensify, and one Scimitar was struck by a round from an Iraqi T-55, which pierced its light armor completely from both sides. Miraculously, the crew survived the engagement unscathed. In the late 1990s, the Scimitars were part of the UN's peacekeeping forces in Bosnia and Kosovo, but a more significant challenge came in 2003 during the invasion of Iraq, a key campaign in the War on Terror. During the early stages of the conflict, a squadron of Scimitars was engaged in the Battle of Al-Faw from March 20th to 24th. These vehicles effectively provided fire support, helping coalition forces to advance against disorganized resistance. However, despite early successes, tragedy struck on March 28th when 2 U.S. Air Force A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft mistakenly attacked British D Squadron Scimitars. The friendly fire incident led to 1 fatality and 5 injuries. An ensuing inquest deemed the actions unlawful, influenced by the release of cockpit video evidence, and reported difficulties in cooperation between US and UK military personnel. In the aftermath of the war in the Middle East, the Army sought to improve the Scimitars and other vehicles for the coming years. This turned critical following the second American invasion of the Middle East in 2001. In response to the operational demand in Afghanistan, the UK Ministry of Defence launched an environmental mitigation program in 2008 aimed at upgrading over 100 Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Tracked, or CVRT, vehicles. Thus, BAE Systems was tasked with this upgrade and successfully delivered the program in 2009. It was the CVRT Scimitar Mark II program in 2010 to further enhance the capabilities of these reconnaissance vehicles. The contract, awarded to BAE Systems in December 2010, involved an extensive modernization by the company's military vehicles and technical services team at the Telford site. The aim was to modernize 50 Scimitars to upgrade them to the Mark II standard. In April 2013, Safety Devices International supplied a rollover protection structure designed to protect the commander and gunner of the Scimitar Mark II. Designed to protect the commander and gunner in the Scimitar Mark II, reinforcing their operational effectiveness and crew survivability in challenging environments. As a result, the Scimitar Mark II proved to be a superior upgrade over the original Scimitar vehicle due to this extensive modernization. New design features included a new aluminum hull based on the Spartan armored personnel carrier, increased headroom for the driver and crew, and enhanced protection with ceramic ballistic armor and electronic countermeasures. Furthermore, the external armor of the vehicle features anti-corrosion protective coatings to enhance resistance against environmental conditions wherever the Scimitar is deployed. The hull and turret of the Scimitar are fortified with enhanced mine blast protection and electronic countermeasures to guard against improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. Additionally, bar armor layers the hull and fuel tanks, safeguarding against direct strikes from rocket-propelled grenades, or RPGs. Beyond this, the Scimitar is equipped with blazoned ceramic armor, which offers increased resistance to kinetic energy threats. Collectively, these armor enhancements significantly bolstered the vehicle's defense against both blast and ballistic threats, improving overall crew survivability. Engine modification also took place with the Mark II variant. This new vehicle replaces the petrol engine and is now powered by a fuel-efficient Cummins BTA 5.9-liter diesel engine, which generates a maximum power of 235 horsepower and provides 33% extra torque over the original Scimitar, despite its 12,250 kilogram weight. The power pack also comprises a TN15E Plus automated gearbox manufactured by David Brown. These power enhancements allow the Scimitar Mark II to achieve a top speed of around 80 km per hour, drastically bolstering its reconnaissance capabilities during training and offensive operations against the enemy. Armament changes are also notorious. The Scimitar Mark II has been installed with a remote weapon station and powered turret options, bolstering its combat effectiveness. The 30mm L21 Rarden cannon remains the vehicle's main armament, along with its coaxially mounted 7.62mm general-purpose machine gun. The 4 66mm smoke grenade dischargers are still present for defensive operations. British personnel had noted that the entire CVRT family of light-tracked vehicles, comprising the Scorpion light tank, the Spartan armored personnel carrier, the Samaritan armored ambulance, the Sultan command and control vehicle, the Striker missile launcher, and the Samson armored repair and recovery vehicle, are also being modernized, following the success of the Scimitar Mark II upgrade. As the revamped vehicles are delivered to the British Army in the upcoming years, the country's overall combat readiness will be drastically increased to tackle the obstacles to come, and the Scimitar Mark II will be there to spearhead them to victory.